You're live.
Yeah.
Okay. I fear failure is becoming a paradox of contemporary parenting in our society today. Dr. Jim Taylor, adjunct professor of sports psychology at the University of San Francisco, reports, fear of failure among children is epidemic in America today. At the heart of fear of failure is the belief that if children fail, bad things will happen. For example, they will disappoint their parents, experience embarrassment or shame, or feel worthless. In a culture of never good enough and an economic landscape filled with uncertainty, parents are terrified of their children failing. Why are parents so terrified of their children failing? Is failure today viewed as an unnecessary evil rather than the celebrated hero of success that it truly is? I'll never forget the look of fulfillment on my 7-year-old son's face as he admired his recent theme park game Conquest, a green stuffed monkey he named Tony. He went up by playing basketball and making 3 consecutive baskets in a row. Success didn't come instantly. He made several attempts and failed, accompanied by failure and disappointment. Even on his last attempt, an obstacle got in the way, as it often does in life. He made the first 2 baskets, but the 3rd shot hit an overhang and bounced out. The game operator gave him another shot because of the interference. His last and final shot miraculously went in for the win. Had I been there, I would have been tempted to step in and make the winning basket for him. Fortunately, I was off riding roller coasters with my adventurous daughters. My husband wisely and patiently allowed our son to own the experience no matter the outcome of success or failure. In the process, that 7-year-old boy learned an important lesson. To experience the true joy of success, one must experience the disappointment of failure. As I watched him admire his prize, I realized his joy came from his own personal efforts to overcome obstacles and accomplish something hard by himself. This prized monkey would not have meant as much to him had I stepped in and made the winning basket for him. When a parent, educator, coach, or other significant adult rescues a child from disappointment and failure, they deprive him of opportunities to develop life skills that will help him thrive as an adult. I will discuss 3 points based on my research, which illustrate how failure builds character, teaches important life lessons, and is a stepping stone for success. Point number 1, failure builds character. Author and mother Alyssa Valdez shares a personal story about how her son developed character strengths to overcome his weakness to give up and hate himself whenever he failed. In his first track meet, running the mile race, he was cut off by another kid and knocked to the ground. He skinned both knees and elbows pretty badly. His mother ran to the sidelines and told him it was okay for him to quit. He still had the majority of the mile to run. Plus, he was behind with bloody knees and elbows, but he was determined, and he looked his mother in the face and said, "I don't quit." She was astonished to see her son pick himself up off the ground and run the rest of the 4 long laps in excruciating pain. He finished the race dead last, but he was the only boy to raise the crowd to their feet, cheering him on as he crossed the finish line. This young boy demonstrated courage, confidence, and perseverance in spite of his failure. Instead of giving up and hating himself, he learned that failing doesn't mean you're a failure when you don't give up trying. Some will argue that failure is too humiliating and can potentially damage or destroy a child's self-esteem, and what children need most is praise. A Columbia University survey found 85% of American parents feel that it's important to tell their children they're smart. However, multiple studies published in the National Education Association article, The Praise Paradox, prove the weakness in this thinking. One study of scholars from Reed College and Stanford reviewed over 150 praise studies. Their analysis made some surprising discoveries about heavily praised students. Here are some of their findings. Heavily praised students are afraid to take risks, lack ability to be self-directing, give up on a task sooner, look for approval from the teacher, are less confident in their abilities, commonly drop out of college classes rather than earn a mediocre grade, have a hard time picking a major because they're afraid they won't succeed, distort motivation. They do things to receive praise instead of the intrinsic joy that comes from accomplishing a task. Which leads me to point number 2. Failure provides kids with real-life experience that teach important life lessons. In the New York Times article, What If the Secret to Success is Failure? Author Paul Tuff states, we have an acute, almost biological impulse to provide for our children, to give them everything they want and need, to protect them from dangers and discomforts, both large and small. And yet we all know, on some level at least, that what kids need more than anything is a little hardship, some challenge, some deprivation that they can overcome, even if just to prove to themselves that they can. End quote. Without this proving ground, kids are at greater risk to grow up deficient in their ability to handle the inevitable crises that come with life, such as loss of a job, divorce, health-related traumas, financial setbacks, and so on. Point number 3. Failure can be used as a stepping stone to success. As a child, Dr. Ben Carson was picked on at school and labeled dummy by his classmates. When he discovered books at the local library and the power of reading, he was able to increase his knowledge and overcome the stigma of being stupid, and eventually became known as the smart kid. His failures taught him that he had the ability to solve his own problems and use them as stepping stones, which led to a successful career as a world-renowned pediatric neurosurgeon. As you can see, failure is a necessary opponent, worthy of admiration, and essential to a child's character development through personal experience in defeat and triumph. So the next time you see a child take a shot at something new, resist the temptation to step in and save him from failure. Instead, watch in awe as he discovers what he is made of. Thank you for listening. Ta-da! That's the end. Okay, that's the end.
Okay.
Am I supposed to stop broadcast or what?
Yeah, just click